It's been a hot minute since I've played an ARPG such as Diablo or Torchlight, and luckily we were contacted by Wargaming about their newly released PC early access game, Pagan Online, their very own ARPG that's aiming to be much more of a classic ARPG, focused less on the massive grinds such as what you see, in mobile gaming. It's important for you to know that this video is sponsored by Wargaming, but it did seem a great fit for me to actually take a look at and give you my first impressions. I'm playing the game via Steam, but you can also get the game from the Wargaming shop. Both are linked in the description. Now let's get on with the video. Pagan Online takes place in a world inspired by Slavic mythology. We're dropped in right after the gods who defended the world from darkness mysteriously went missing, and we're actually going to go try and find them. Like hunting gods, but as friends? You start by choosing between 3 characters with 3 different playstyles, and get the pleasure of destroying large hordes of enemies while fully powered up, giving you the chance to check out the character's endgame strengths with all the abilities ready to go. But you can't have too much fun though, because they totally kill you and you actually begin the game for real at level 1, slowly unlocking and upgrading your character and grabbing more abilities and weapons as you progress, of course. While you do choose between 3 characters to begin with, there's a total of 8 that you can unlock by finding shards of the characters. These shards drop randomly throughout missions, but there's also assassination missions that let you really focus on those shard drops. When you've unlocked your roster, you're able to freely swap between characters between missions, which allows for a wide variety of styles of gameplay, which is very different compared to most ARPGs, since you're normally locked in with one main character that's way stronger than any other characters you end up making after. But let's talk about gameplay. How does it look? How does it feel? Unlike every other ARPG I played, Pagan Online uses the WASD keys for movement instead of clicking to move. And it made sense right off the bat for me. I've got more control over how I move around the room without accidentally clicking on an enemy and hitting it when I'm trying to dodge, so I felt like I could avoid things a lot easier. While the abilities are bound to different mouse buttons, I'm able to easily move around, dodge those attacks, while also being able to aim and fire off different abilities, which is really nice. The game's core comes from missions that you jump in and out of, with a variety of modes such as main story missions in which you follow through the questline, completing different tasks, while killing tons of enemies and facing mini-bosses or even big bosses, with some simple puzzles spliced in there now and then. Then we've got assassination missions, where you hunt a specific enemy as the end goal, or maybe the horde-based defense missions called survival, having you hold an objective while you clean up waves of enemies. And finally there's the hunts, which basically give you extra bounties to complete during missions, like a mini mission such as the one I see here, killing 15 large enemies you'll intentionally do during your time out in the mission for extra rewards. So it's a tactical hack and slash with tons of loot and hordes of enemies to defeat, and you can play it solo or group up with friends. It's a classic ARPG. Since it's mission based, and these missions on average so far for me take about 10 minutes, I found it really easy to just load up the game for, let's say, half an hour, complete some missions and bounce out, but I also didn't have any issue with just playing it for 2 hours straight either. As you head out into the world and complete missions, there's also a leaderboard available to stack up your scores against other players, or, more importantly, your friends. And there's actually some good lore as to why you're only able to be in the world for these small spells, this small period where you're on that mission, before you actually have to go back to the hub called the Pantheon. Since you died, like I mentioned earlier, you were brought back as a spirit to help find the gods. And so your soul is actually linked to the Pantheon, and you have to restore yourself there before too long. As I mentioned, the Pantheon functions as a hub, so you'll find other players running around here, and as you'd expect, there's vendors, lore collection, there's also a blacksmith there to do your crafting, like making your weapons and tools, and of course the more you craft, the better you get at it, you gain more experience, and then you make better items too. Finally, your upgrade station is here too. Upgrading in Pagan Online is very simple at this moment in time. Each time you level up, you get a potency point, which you spend to level up an ability. As you get deeper, you'll find bigger nodes that affect the abilities in different ways. For example, increase their range, or the spread of the ability, maybe shorten their cooldown, or the duration effects that they have last longer. My main complaint when it comes to this game is this. Though we do have a nice large roster of characters from the beginning here, therefore, lots of abilities and playstyles, the abilities themselves are improved and changed very minimally, without a variety of new effects which would make the character's gameplay change substantially as you progress, as you level up. Though you can swap characters for the variety, it would be nice to see some more refinement of the upgrade system for each character. You'll have also noticed that when I crafted this new weapon, the visuals of my weapon changed, right? But personally, my character has looked the same throughout all the footage. Now that's because the armor is more of a visual and specifically a cosmetic thing, and you can change that via the Hero Forge. The same place you swap characters, you can also go into your characters and customize them themselves. There's already a bunch of different skins to change up your hero and a bunch of color variants, which is nice, but what's really nice about this is it's all done via the shards, the ones that you find. This is kind of where you would expect like a loot box or microtransaction thing to come up, right? But thankfully, Pagan Online assures us that there's no loot boxes of any kind in the game, so once you've got the game, you can unlock everything that's in the game, which is always good to hear. We also have access to different pets here too, which of course help you fight and will level up alongside you, getting more deadly right with you. We personally start with a very intimidating bird in a hat. Wow, it just looks so intimidating. My final thoughts after this first impression look is that Pagan Online is fulfilling that classic ARPG style well. The combat feels, fluid and weighty, which is important, and I really like the way that they've gone for WASD controls, instead of the mouse to move. And the setting has me interested so far. I've just started looking for my first god, and I'm not really sure what to expect from that. Given the session-based gameplay though, I do actually think this game would work really well on the Switch, though it's currently only available on the PC. So I would like to play this game while I'm on a commute or something. I've always just appreciated the games on Switch that allow you to hop in and out quickly, and because this is mission-based, it seems like a good fit to me. What are your thoughts on the game then? Mobile gaming has taken ARPGs down that very grindy route, and I think there's some good potential here in Pagan Online. If you do want to check out the game, make sure to use the links provided in the description so they know we sent you. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Hope you enjoyed it. I've been Hollow, you've been you, and I will see you next time.